It's Wednesday, that means it's time for another episode of WakeEd Wednesdays. Hello and welcome, I'm Tim LaValle from WakeEd Partnership. In this week's episode, we're going to look at how to locate your school board member and how to speak at a school board meeting and to find school board materials. Okay, so to find information about the school board, you need to start at the Wake County Public Schools homepage, www.wcpss.net. One of the things you'll find is that this works for both desktop and for mobile devices. Go to the About Us tab, click on School Board, and you come to the main page for the Wake County Board of Education. And you can see a number of things on here. There's some navigation on the left, some narrative here, 4 main points of navigation here, and also a list of upcoming board meetings of various types. To find your school board member, let's start over here. We're actually going to go to click on School Board Members. And this is probably the place where most people would want to start because their school is listed underneath the board members. So for example, if you go to Smith Elementary, you'd find Smith Elementary and you'd see that your school board member is Monica Johnson-Hostler, who's the chair of the board. And then, of course, you can find other schools here. Many people actually have this scenario where, like, let's say, for example, they live in District 1, Mr. Agee's district, but their children go to school, let's say, Fox Road Elementary. So who would they contact here? Would they contact Ms. Cash or Mr. Agee? In this case, they could contact both. Ms. Cash would be in charge of the school here, more or less, but Mr. Agee could certainly respond as well. It wouldn't hurt to contact both. So that's how you take a look here. You can see there's 9 board members altogether, and each of them has a number of schools. Some have more than others, but the county's growing as well. So now let's take a look over here, and we'll go back to the main school board page. So if you want to know when the meetings are, again, you have this calendar here. You can also go over to this right here, find board materials, download materials on eBoards. When you click here, you come to this page, and it doesn't look like much. You can see that there's a list of all the Board of Education folks, and then each district has a board advisory council, which is led by each board member, and each of those people are found here. But to get to the information, you need to go to this tab here, Meetings, and Meetings Listing. You click there, and you get a running tally of all of the different types of meetings, when they happen, and when you click on these links, it takes you to their agendas. And that's subject of another video. Let's go back again to the main school board page, and let's say you wanted to speak at a school board meeting. That's very limited, but it is available. And what happens is the school board sets aside time at the beginning of its agenda for all of its main school board meetings, where the public is allowed to come up and speak, and each person may speak for up to 3 minutes. But to do that, you must sign up ahead of time. And you can see here, sign up starts at 12 p.m. on the day of the meeting and ends at 5 p.m. So if you show up at a school board meeting expecting to speak and you haven't signed up ahead of time, chances are you may not be permitted to speak at that meeting. So it goes through all the guidelines here of how the school board handles public speakers. And then if you're still interested in signing up to speak, you need to click on this link here. When we go to this link, you're going to see that there isn't any information on this page, but on the days that there is a school board meeting, there is information on that page. Let's go back again. We'll go back to the main school board site, and we're actually going to click on School Board Calendar. This is very helpful. If you're interested in following the school board's activities in a more deliberate way, you can come to this calendar here, and you can see each publicly listed meetings. Some meetings are closed, as you can see, closed session for the purpose of a student due process appeal hearing. A closed meeting is one where the public is not invited to attend, and they usually are governed by very specific rules in law in how they can close a meeting. So for example, as you saw, student due process, they also have appeals, personnel matters, purchase and sale of real property, discussions with attorneys, hiring, and whatnot. So those are closed meetings. Oh, but most of the meetings are conducted in the open. If you're interested, you can actually click on iCal here, and if you have an iCal calendar such as Outlook or Google Calendar or any of the Apple products, you can click on that and this calendar will actually flow right into and appear as another calendar in your list of available calendars. Let's take a look at the types of school board meetings. Okay. As I mentioned, there is a closed version, but most of the school board meetings are held in the open. So full board meetings, they're held twice a month, at least once a month, but mostly twice a month in the school board room. Usually before the main school board meeting, there's a work session. Work sessions are the discussion time where the board gets to hear more information items and to discuss, again, in open session, available for the public to attend, issues that are before the board. Committee meetings are board members, but not the entire board. There are committee meetings such as the policy committee, the finance committee, and others that meet to discuss things that aren't ready for the full board yet. Again, board advisory council meetings are for the citizens. So let's say you're not the type of person who wants to go to a full school board meeting, or you can't get to the regular school board meeting, but you want to talk to one of your school board members. These board advisory council meetings are here for that. They're not just an information, they're not just a one-on-one coffee chat style. There's usually a presentation every month, often by school system staff, to discuss things of parent and public interest. The school board occasionally has public hearings. Some usually involve the budget or student assignment, and that's an opportunity that has a little bit more latitude for public speaking. Parents are still limited to 3 minutes, but there's usually more time on the agenda set aside just for public hearing around a particular topic. Let's go back to the main school board page. And if you are interested in how the school system really governs itself, that's this school board policies. So anything that isn't set out in state or federal law, but still needs some kind of governance around it, that's the policy manual here. The school system is in the process of actually updating its policy manual from an older version to a newer version. And those policy transitions are happening pretty much every school board meeting these days has a policy that's being reviewed and usually approved. So let's take a look when you click on New Policy Manual. Again, this is worth another video, but you can see that it's annotated and you can look things up by major subject. There's also a search function here as well. So that concludes our portion of looking for school board information. We hope it was helpful. As always, we ask you to like and subscribe, and if you would, feel free to leave a comment below. And we'll see you next Wednesday.